I do need to add a disclaimer for today's video. The content may be especially upsetting for some. It's hard for me to research and talk about, but it's so important to get the information out there, but viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Casey, and today's case is one that has really been on my mind a lot. I have been following it for a few weeks, and I wasn't going to do a video on it. I really wasn't, because this is one that I was expecting to be all over the media. I was expecting everybody to be talking about it. I just knew everyone was going to be doing a video on it and that it would be getting plenty of attention, but it's really not. Now, this case started out as two missing people in San Antonio, Texas, a mother and her son. 20-year-old D'Lanny Chairez and her 18-month-old son, James Chairez, were reported missing on February 22nd, 2021 this year. The mom, Delaney, has been found, but her son James wasn't with her, and he is still missing. So I'm going to go over what happened before Delaney went missing, as well as events while she was missing, and what's going on now that she has been found. So the last time family members saw baby James was on Thanksgiving in November 2020. Marisol Gomez, which is the great aunt of baby James and who would also turn out to be his biggest advocate through all of this, saw him on Thanksgiving and afterward had been asking Delaney if she could see James. This went on for months and she was never able to see him. Delaney would make excuses and say things like, oh, he's asleep, or we aren't home right now, or we are quarantined because we were around someone that was sick, or he's with a family friend. It was just excuse after excuse. Marisol even went to Delaney's home on February the 18th, knowing she was there. She knocked, but Delaney would not answer the door. Marisol called the San Antonio Police Department trying to see if they could do a welfare check or if anything could possibly be done. She was told that because Delaney had custody of James, they couldn't really do anything, which I was under the impression that anybody could call and do a welfare check on someone and that police would show up to make sure that this person was okay. And honestly, I even kind of looked it up just to see and make sure I was right. But police do not even have to have a warrant to knock down somebody's door if they are checking on someone's well-being. But these San Antonio police didn't do anything. They kind of stood outside Delaney's house for a few minutes and then left. They never even talked to her or checked to see that baby James was okay. Delaney later texted Marisol agreeing to meet with her to talk the next day, and when they did, they got in the car and were kind of driving around, and Delaney told Marisol that she had given James up for adoption on February the 10th. She claimed that she had given him to a couple that she had known for over 2 years and that he was living in a house and that he was fine. So of course, Marisol asked her for proof of the adoption, but Delaney didn't have any proof. And she refused to say who was caring for him, who she had given him to. She wouldn't say anything. Marisol did record part of that conversation on her phone, and I was able to find it. I'm not going to put it in this video because I don't want to get a copyright strike. I'm not really sure. I just don't want to put that in here and risk it. So I will put the link in the description box if you want to go listen to it. It only has part of it on there, but you kind of get the gist of what she's saying. But that's in the description box if you want to listen to that after this video. After that conversation in the car, Delaney stopped talking to Marisol and other family members altogether. She deleted most of her pictures of James off of all of her social media and disappeared. Marisol went to Delaney's home again on February 22nd since she wasn't responding to texts, and Delaney wasn't there, but Marisol found something inside the trailer that was very disturbing. There was a sheet in the home, a baby's crib sheet that had blood on it. Now, I'm unsure of how much blood was on this, but any amount of blood on something belonged to a child, especially one that is missing, is going to make you think the absolute worst. After finding the bloody sheet, Marisol immediately contacted police and a missing report was filed for both James and Delaney. The blood on the sheet was tested and it has come back as being human blood, but investigators have not released whether or not the blood belonged to James. Law enforcement believed that Delaney and James could be in danger and the FBI got involved. Once the investigation started, they did find footage of Delaney and James on video surveillance at a Walgreens on Marback Road in San Antonio on January the 4th, 2021. And that was the last time mother and son were seen together. It is also the last time that James was seen alive. Delaney's home was searched to see if they could find any clues as to what happened to them or where they had gone. And let me tell you, the pictures of this place are really bad, y'all. It's absolutely disgusting. Mess everywhere, dirty, not a proper environment for a child to be in or an adult, in my opinion. Reports say the place smelled like garbage and the flooring was in really bad shape. All of James's clothing, toys, car seats, diapers, his stroller, his diaper bag, all the things that you would need with you to care for your child were left in this home. It wasn't looking good, and let's not forget the blood-stained sheet. Someone posted something else in one of the discussion groups that I had not noticed at all until it was pointed out. Notice in this picture taken from the home, the mattress is missing from the crib. Where is it? Maybe there never was a mattress. Maybe baby James slept with his mother in her bed, so she never purchased a mattress. Or maybe there was a mattress and it was disposed of. Maybe the mattress was taken by police before the picture was taken, but I'm pretty sure that they snap all their pictures before they remove evidence from a potential crime scene. I don't know, it sets off alarm bells for me though. Police received a tip that Delaney and James could be in an area called Pearsall Park. So around 60 members of law enforcement went with tracking dog teams and searched the entire 500-acre area, but they did not say whether or not they found anything. On February 24th of 2021, Delaney was captured on surveillance riding on a VIA Metropolitan Transit bus. In the footage, she did appear to be by herself, no child with her, and she rode the bus for hours before finally exiting the bus at the North Star Transit Station. San Antonio police released the footage of Delaney on the bus on March 15th, and the very next day, on Tuesday, March 16th, Delaney was found and arrested on child abandonment charges due to the fact that they found blood on the stained crib sheet, and the most important thing of all, her son was not with her when she was found. They have not released how they found her, and I don't believe they've said where she was found either. Now, when police questioned Delaney about where James was, she refused to answer their questions about his whereabouts. She would only say that she didn't feel she was ready to be a mom and that he deserved better and that she had been struggling with her mental health and decided to give him up for adoption. Other than that, she has been keeping her mouth shut, not helping police locate him or giving any indication as to where he could be. Police even had the idea to bring in her Aunt Marisol to see if maybe Delaney would give her any information, but all Delaney would tell her aunt was that James was now in a better place. I'm sure they have checked her cell phone records, so it would be interesting to see who she had been talking to. If she really did give him up for adoption, she would have been conversing back and forth with this person, right? I mean, you don't just meet somebody on the street and say, "Here, take my baby." You would have to have some kind of conversation with them, text, phone calls, something. And there would be record of that on her phone. Now, I don't believe she has a vehicle of her own since she was riding the bus. Maybe she does have a car and wasn't using it because she knew she'd been reported missing and didn't want to be spotted, but I really don't think she has one. If she does, I'm sure the police have been checking that also. If she did give him up for adoption, why wouldn't she give this couple that supposedly took him all of his baby stuff? The stroller, at least one of his car seats. From what I understand, there were 3 car seats in the home. His clothing, his toys, his diaper bag. Unless the couple had seen the inside of her home and were like, no thanks, we'll buy all new. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Investigators have said, though, that they do believe that James is still alive and in the San Antonio area, or at least somewhere in Texas. In case you were wondering where baby James's father is during all this mess, he is currently in jail. Baby James's father, Matthew James Dempsey, is in jail for murdering his own mother back in 2018. When he was 18 years old and his girlfriend Delaney was pregnant with baby James, Matthew and one of his friends decided that they were going to rob Matthew's mother, Mary Helen Dempsey. Apparently, Mary Helen arrived home unexpectedly, interrupting them while they were stealing her stuff, so they beat her to death with a baseball bat and slit her throat. He is now serving a 42-year prison sentence, so he is not in his son's life. There's more. James's father is not the only family member that is in jail for murder. James's maternal grandmother, Patricia Flores, which is Delaney's mom, is serving a 57-year prison sentence for murdering her grandchild back in 2016. She scalded this poor baby with hot bath water and failed to seek medical attention for this baby for 6 whole days, and the only reason she finally did try to seek help was because the baby became unresponsive. This child later died from infection caused by these burns, and so Patricia Flores was charged with murder. I can see why Delaney may have had some mental health issues. First her mom goes to jail for murder, and then later Delaney gets pregnant, and while she's pregnant, before she even has her baby, her boyfriend also goes to jail for murder. So now he's not around to help her raise their child. That is a whole lot to deal with within just a couple of years. And I am not making excuses for her actions in any way. I'm just saying I can understand why her mental health was probably not the best and why she was having difficulty caring for baby James the way he deserved to be cared for. Her Aunt Marisol has said Delaney always seemed like a good mom who loved her son, but that things had changed somewhat in the months before he disappeared and everything went wrong. I commend those that love their children enough to be able to admit that their parental skills are lacking and that they want a better life for their child. But if you're going to give your child up to someone else to make sure that they are loved and cared for, there are ways to do it properly. There are agencies and paperwork. You don't just hand your child off to somebody and then sit yourself in jail refusing to say where the child is. If she decided she couldn't handle the pressures of parenthood, why didn't she just give James to her aunt? I'm pretty positive Marisol would have happily taken him. My heart really goes out to Marisol. Like I said in the beginning of the video, she has been the one advocating for James and trying to get his face and his story out there. Not knowing what has happened to James or where he is has got to be absolutely heartbreaking for her. You can really tell in her interviews just how much she loves James and misses him and wants the absolute best for him. On March 31st of 2021, it was announced that the case has been sealed, meaning the public can no longer receive information about what is going on with the investigation. Delaney is being held on a $250,000 bond, and a pre-hearing has been set for April 14th. So since the case is now sealed, we probably won't be getting updates unless something big happens, like they find James. He is still missing, and no matter how bad this looks, even if your opinion is that he couldn't possibly be alive, we can't stop looking, because what if he is? We have to keep that small shred of hope. What if she really did give him away in some illegal adoption or even sold him and he is out there? James is 32 inches tall and weighs 34 pounds. He has reddish orange hair and brown eyes. He has a large dimple on his right cheek and he has very bad eczema. Please share this sweet little guy's flyer. Share this video if you think it will help. If you have any information on James's whereabouts, please contact the San Antonio Police at 210-207-7660. Just as I was kind of finishing up my research for this case, I did come upon a podcast by the Grim Truth podcast, and they did a good job. I was able to get a few more details to add to this video from that. I will link that podcast in the description box if you would like to check it out. I will be adding some links in the description box if you yourself are struggling with mental illness. If you are a parent, or even if you're not a parent and you're struggling and you feel all alone, there is help out there, and I really hope people realize that they don't have to go through these things alone, and they don't have to take drastic measures and, harm children, harm anybody else, or even give their child away to a stranger. There is help out there. Thank you all for watching. As always, I mean absolutely no harm in doing these videos. I am simply trying to spread awareness. I upload a new video every single week on a lesser known, less talked about missing person case. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do not miss when I upload something new. I would also highly suggest checking out my entire missing playlist. It should be on the screen right now, as every single case I cover deserves more exposure. I appreciate every single one of you being here and sitting through this video and watching and helping me get James's story out there. That's all for today, and I will see you guys next week.